Good evening and welcome to Law Line. Law Line is a live call-in talk show brought to you by the law firm of Levin Papp Antonio. Tonight's going to be a night where you can call in, ask us any questions that you may have regarding the law, any questions you may have, give us a call here. I can tell you, Law Line, tonight we're going to be talking about personal injury law. Any type of injuries that you may have had, any type of questions that you may have regarding the law, we invite you to give us a call. At any point in time, if you say, Mr. Watson, I have a question about an auto accident, I have a question about this or that, now's the time to give us a call. Now, this talk show, it only helps, or you get the most benefit out of the talk show if you call in and if you ask questions. Now, I can recall back when I was on the other side of the television screen, when I used to see these shows, and I'd say to myself, I'm not going to call in. They can't help me. If I call that number, it's going to be a busy signal. No, tonight, you call in, there's not going to be a busy signal. This is live. Whatever question that you may have, I advise you to take advantage of the fact that you have an attorney here that's willing to reach out, that's willing to say, you know what, this is what you need to do. Don't do this. Don't do that. Maybe you should consider this. Any type of questions, any type of comments, call in now. The number is 850-432-7768. Or you can dial in toll free. The number is 1-800-950-BLAB, B-L-A-B. Call in now. Usually towards the beginning of the show, the lines are open. A lot of people, wait towards the end when the lines are busy, tied up to ask their questions. But now is the time to ask it. You don't have to leave the comfort of your living room. You don't have to leave out of your house. You can call in right now. You don't have to go and make an appointment with the lawyer to ask the question. You can call right now. There's a lawyer sitting right in front of you saying, listen, call in, ask any question regarding the law. While I'm waiting on you guys to call in, I'll give you some brief background about me. I'm attorney Aaron Watson. I'm an attorney with the Levin Law Firm. I mainly practice in personal injury law, wrongful death, products liability litigation. I'm from Pensacola. I grew up here in Pensacola. I went to Pine Forest High School, moved back to Pensacola, and now I'm here practicing, helping the people in Pensacola. And tonight I want to help you. If you have any questions, the lines right now, they're open. And I'm waiting, and I'm anxious for you to call and let me know what your problem is. Let me know how I can help you. I'll give you some brief insight into what I do as an attorney, I guess from step one to the end, how the litigation process works. Usually I'll have a client come into my office and say, Mr. Watson, this happened to me on this day. Whether it be an injury, whether it be a slip and fall, any type of wrongdoing. And the thing is, a lot of times clients say, I may not have a case, even though I'm hurt or I'm injured or this happened to me, it's so small, it's so minute that I don't have a case. And I tell clients all the time, that's not your call to make. That's like, having hitting your head and trying to determine whether or not you have a brain injury. You have to get someone that's qualified to look at it, that knows what they're doing, to say, you know what, this is what you have to do. You have this type of case, you have this type of injury. Looks like we have all three lines open. I appreciate you calling. We're going to take line one. Hi, thanks for calling Law Line. How can I help you?
Yes, Aaron, I just have a question, man. I've been rear-ended sitting at a stoplight, man. What kind of information you can give for me? Anything at all? You
said you were rear-ended at a stoplight. When did the accident happen?
This took place about 6 months ago. About 6 months ago?
Okay, well, first thing I want to make you aware of is the statute of limitations, that you have a certain amount of time to bring your claim. And this type of accident, an auto accident, you have 4 years to bring a claim. And what that means is you have 4 years to file a complaint with the court, to have your day in court. If you don't file an action against the at-fault driver in 4 years, you no longer have a claim. So I want to, make you aware of the statute of limitations. Now, when you were sitting at you said you were at a stop sign?
Yes, sir.
And the other driver just ran into the back of you?
Yes, sir. I guess they just wasn't paying attention.
Okay, and was law enforcement called?
Yeah, they showed up. Yes, sir.
Did they write the other guy a ticket?
Well, I didn't get a ticket. I think they might have gotten one.
Okay, so the other guy might have gotten a ticket?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Usually, the reason I ask you that question is because if the other guy got a ticket, that's evidence that he did something wrong. I mean, by the mere fact that he hit you in the back of your car, you know, and rear-ended you is by itself, you know, you can make an argument that he did something wrong. You do have a case for negligence on the part of the at-fault driver. Tell me about this. What were your injuries? What happened as a result of the accident?
Well, I got slight pain in my wrist from holding on to the steering wheel at the time when it happened, and I guess also it was unexpected, so I got whiplash from having my seatbelt on, and it jerked me forward from impact. Okay. And other than that, I'm pretty good. I had a little pain in my legs, but other than that, those were my injuries right there.
Well, did you go to the hospital after the accident?
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay, and they X-rayed you and looked at you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and have you been to seek treatment since the accident? Have you gone to a chiropractor, or have you gone to your general physician to go seek more treatment?
Honestly, no, I haven't.
Okay. Well, I think this is a very important point. I'm glad you called in today, caller 2. I can tell you, just from looking at the face of your case, I mean, you do have a case. The driver ran into you as a result of that driver's negligence. You were injured. You suffered damages. So you do have a case. And I guess one important point that I want to make to you tonight is that it's very good that you went to seek treatment at the hospital, but at this point, what an attorney would do is contact the other driver to see if they had insurance. Did you have insurance, by the way?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you have uninsured motorist coverage?
I think I had just liability.
Okay, just liability. And just for the callers out there, what uninsured motorist coverage is that it protects you. You pretty much ask for it from your insurance company, but in the event that you hit somebody that didn't have insurance or they don't have enough insurance to cover you, you can request uninsured motorist coverage or underinsured motorist coverage. But in your particular case, right now what you have to do is your main goal and your homework assignment is to get better, to actually seek treatment. I know it's been a few months since you've actually been to see a chiropractor or to see your general physician, but if you're injured, your main goal is to get well, and I need for you to seek treatment to get well, because what the at-fault driver's insurance company is going to say, they're going to say, well, you know what, he was involved in this accident. Yeah, our insured hit him, but he didn't go seek treatment for 4, 5, 6 months after the accident. So if he didn't go to the hospital, then he wasn't injured, and that this is all made up. So what you have to do, what your responsibility is number one, to get better. Number two is to make sure you have a clear record of treatment, that once we all take a look at your file, we can see that there's a consistent record of treatment. So I would advise ASAP, immediately. I'm sure all the doctor's offices are closed now, but tomorrow morning I would advise to go out, get in contact with some chiropractors, get in contact with some doctors to go and seek treatment, so we can have someone to say, you know what, I worked with him, he has an injury, and and what's required in Florida is what's called a permanent injury, meaning that you can't recover in Florida unless you have significant scarring or permanent injury. Now, caller, I can't tell you, I can't look at you and say, you know what, you have a permanent injury. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a legal doctor, a doctor of the law, but not necessarily a medical doctor. So I can't tell you that, and you can't tell a jury, if it came down to trial, that, you know what, I have a permanent injury in my neck, or I have a permanent injury in my back. It takes a doctor, it takes a chiropractor to work with you for months or for weeks, or to say, you know what, I've adjusted his spine, I've worked with his neck, and he has a permanent injury. He has a permanent injury in his back, a permanent injury in his neck, and after we get that from that chiropractor, what we do is we let the insurance company know, let the at-fault driver's insurance company know that, listen, your driver ran into the back of my client. Because of his negligence, he suffered a 10% impairment of his neck, of his spine, and he needs to be compensated. We demand that you compensate him. So I guess to answer your questions, you do have a case. I think what you need to do at this point is go seek treatment tomorrow. And if you want to, if you hang on the line, they can give you my contact information for my office. You can give me a call tomorrow, and I can give you some further guidance, okay?
All right, that sounds good. I appreciate it, man. You're very good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, did I answer all your questions?
Yes, sir, you did. Yes, sir, you did.
Okay, caller, I appreciate you calling in, and make sure you tune in every Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, okay?
All right, yes, sir. I shall. Thank you very much.
All right, you have a good night.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, callers, listen, now's the time for you to call in. If you have any legal questions, any issues that's going on, if you've been wronged, if you've been hurt, I don't care what happened. Don't say, well, this happened, this is too small. Mr. Watson is not going to listen to me, or I don't have a case. No, call in and ask the question. I'll let you know whether or not you have a case. Again, like I said, if you hit your head on a wall and you've been having dizziness and you've been having various symptoms, you can't look at your head, or if you fall on the ground and say, oh, I have a brain injury, I have traumatic stress. It takes a doctor to go in and say, you know what, I know medicine, I can look at you and tell you that you have an injury in your head, or you have an injury here. You can't do it on your own. It's the same thing with the law. If you got into a legal issue, if you've been injured or hurt as a result of someone else's wrongdoing, don't say, well, it's not big enough. Well, you don't know that. You need to call someone that has experienced, someone that has done it before, someone that can guide you through the process, the legal process. We have another caller on line 1. We're going to go ahead and take that call. Welcome to Law Line. This is Aaron Watson. How can I help you?
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. How can I help you today?
Yes, I have a question. A while back, I got into an accident where I was at fault. A driver was letting me across the street, and the driver on the opposite side had hit me. Well, the EMT at the accident site asked, was anybody injured, and I was. The airbag burnt my face. And the person that hit me wasn't. They asked, was he injured, and he said he always have had back problems, so he didn't go to the hospital, but I did. Mm-hmm. So a few months down the line, I've got a letter from my insurance company, and he sued my insurance company. And I was just asking, how was that possible when he made the statement that he didn't sustain any injuries?
Well, caller, he could have made the statement that he didn't sustain any injuries, but there could have been a doctor or chiropractor that worked him up and performed different techniques on him and came to the opinion that he did sustain injuries. A lot of times, drivers, they'll walk out of these accidents and they'll say, what, I'm fine, and then a month later, their neck hurts, or they have tingling in their fingers, or the lower back hurts, and sometimes these symptoms can just, they'll pop up. And believe it or not, some of the worst pain that a driver can experience is, when it just pops up on you when you don't expect it, because on the day of the accident, you'll walk out of there and say, oh, I'm okay, I'm a little jolted, even though my neck jolted this way and hit